Back to voice recording. This is a Dream Witch match, so I'm not going to really commentate that well. It actually this match was very quick. It was like 5 minutes or something. I don't know why, because there was only the mind's eye decoding, but I guess she's just that powerful. I managed to make the Ento a double back and hit her with the spawn. And then she's going up here, which really sucks because I found out that like leeches in hospital, if you go like past this certain point, it like goes back and forth. That's funny how the thing made her stop midair. Oh, I was really amused by that. So I downed her. And I don't know if I saw any ciphers. Or no, I didn't see any ciphers. Since basement was here, I did the basement thing where I put her all the way down there with the spawn, and then I leave the spawn follower up here. And then I just patrol with the main body. I move out a bit to see if I'm able to leech anyone without trying to get the spawn follower to just follow me. But it does end up moving, which kind of sucks. So I have to drag it back down there. And someone actually ends up going down there. And I'm like, well, damn. I hit her. And then I plan to hit her again, but she's way too far up, so I have to switch to the leech. And then luckily, Ento pushes me toward her. And we're already down to 2 ciphers. So that went by pretty fast. I accidentally leeched the Ento even though she was dead on chair. So that was my bad. I should have leeched the psychologist. And yeah, she's going to heal once someone without Tide rescues her. But, I mean, it's better to damage her being on the chair. Or like her having been on the chair. I use Patroller because it's a perfumer, and like I'm thinking maybe I can counter her perfumes since people say that works. So I get the regular hit off her, and then again, psychologist is fully healed, so I'm just like, She goes away and doesn't body block for some reason, so I get that free down, and then I leech the psycho just so I can have that pressure with the leeches. I go back to chair perfumer, making sure that the mind's eye isn't hiding behind a pallet or something. And then I just go to intercept a psychologist. There's 1 cipher left, and I'm assuming that the last cipher is the one that's right next to the chair, so I'm there just guarding it. I see that cipher moving, so that's why I dragged that leech out. Or it's a spawn follower, so they're not able to remove it. She stays decoding, so I end up getting a hit. And then I go back to chair. At this point, I can just stay or keep my spawn follower there, since they can't delete it or can't get rid of it. So that cipher is permanently not able to be worked on. And then this one, perfumer's half out, so she can't really rescue. I think I saw the mind's eye, I don't know how, but I ended up switching to the wrong leech. So that's how she ended up getting that save. I go ahead and leech just because I need leeches on the field. Especially with that cipher since they were working on it. So I just chair, and since nobody's back there at that cipher, I just drag it out of range so I can come back here. And I'm able to see where Psychologist is with this leech. And now I just go to follow her, based on the last location I saw. I use main body for the window, and that's how I get my hit. So now moving on to BQ, a character I can actually commentate on. I spawned here, and the cipher that usually spawns to the left of me wasn't there, so I ended up going to Statue as my next place. I see that it's a perfumer once I do that, and she perfumes. Great, amazing, favorite character. And then a priestess is there. I'm like, oh no, she goes to the portal. Great. What's better than BQ in hospital? So I'm just stuck chasing her because I don't want to really chase a priestess. She ends up going to the place where someone was decoding, so she forced that person out, which is kind of bad on her part. I end up not trapping her because the stairs are there. I don't know why I thought that mirror would be useful. It really wasn't. And I'm just stuck having to chase her normally and walk. I was really hoping she was gonna vault that. Sadly, she didn't. I think she predicted it. So I end up looping again. This is already quite a bit of time that's passed. Over a minute because Blink was up. So ciphers should be popping soon. I end up getting the down and I immediately chair her because it's been quite a long time. I put a mirror there to try and get a hit, but I think it was too short. I couldn't really tell. So that was just kind of like a meh, especially because I needed that hit after that chase being so long. So here, she shot me, and so Perfumer was able to go back in hospital, and I wasn't having that. I wasn't gonna go back in there and waste my time, so I just changed targets, like completely. So she's down. The next rescue, I'm assuming, is going to be Priestess instead of Embalmer, because I don't know where Embalmer is, but Priestess was closer at that cipher at Statue. So I'm going to go to Statue to try and get a hit off her so she won't be able to come and rescue. So I see her and I mirror. I end up getting the hit, and there's no way she's gonna come rescue like that. I just push her out even farther by turning the mirror, and Embalmer, it doesn't show on the map, but I had eyes on him with wanted order. I'll switch to him in a bit so you can see where he's coming from. Inside hospital. So now here I'm just waiting it out. I'm waiting for him to come, vault the window, or do something so that I can get a basic hit off him, and I can either mirror or teleport to down him. So I use a mirror since I don't want to be wasteful. But he does outplay me, especially with Embalmer's buff. So that's kind of sucky. But it was a very smart move on his part. I end up having to use a mirror on her because if not, I'm never gonna get this basic hit off her. So now moving on to my next target. I teleport up there. I assume that they were healing. I'm not quite sure. But it ends up being the perfumer with elbow pads, which is fine because I just mirrored. I wasn't gonna mirror in hospital. And instead of her going around and to that pallet in the birdcage, she ends up going out here. And so I just take up that chase. Waiting for my mirror again. I chair her in like the best chair in the map, just so I can have the upper hand. It's very isolated, so you can patrol around it very far. And then still get, put a mirror down to hit them at the chair if they get that far. But Priestess does slip by, and so I just use a mirror instead of going up there. I hit the Priestess, and I was gonna go and hit the Perfumer, but she was very far out there, and it wasn't much that she was gonna be able to do. If I were to go after her, then Priestess would just self-heal very quickly. So that's another reason why I stayed with Roach. And because of how the ciphers were laid out, 3 in a row at this bottom part, I was guarding those 2 ciphers over there. So obviously, the only other cipher he could be working on was that one right there. So I put a mirror up and turned it to see his location. And once I got his location, I tried to hit him from afar, but the mirror was short. So I had to end up getting closer to him to hit him and use teleport to try and stuff him, which I did end up succeeding in. And now that I have both people chaired, it's time to look for the perfumer, which she was looking through a box and healing because she wants that dungeon.